Okay, so pick a pile number one. Let me see if I can get better lighting here. How's that? Yeah. Okay, so pick a pile number one, which was on the left. This deck, one of my favorites here, is the Fairy Oracle. Absolutely love that. You have the Solitude card. This card here was the Moon deck. This one here, the Green Witch Oracle, another one of my favorites. And of course, an angel number oracle card to just close the entire message out. So what I was really getting from this pile here, first of all, you have solitude. Solitude is, well, when we pair it with mortar and pestle, right? Integration, subtlety, thoroughness. What you're really being called into right now is to take some time in solitude, meaning like being alone, spending a little bit of time out in nature, but really you can do this anywhere, whether it is like curling up on the sofa, although I don't know if you're where I am, it's finally nice out. The weather is gorgeous. The sun is shining. I'm usually not one to tell you to stay inside. So, but if it's cold, if it's raining, that's still beautiful. But if you're someone who's like, I just can't be outside right now, being inside, kind of cuddled up on the sofa with a good book or a hot cup of tea, I'm just feeling this. When you think of solitude, taking a weekend, especially this weekend with the upcoming full moon and the lunar eclipse, to take some time in reflection. Really so full moons are that time where we kind of look back on everything that we've gathered, all of the information that we have, all of the lessons that we've learned, everything that we've been through. And we take a look at even our intentions, our goals, and we think to ourselves, okay, what is working? What is not? We sit in gratitude for all that we've achieved, how far we've come, even the lessons that we've learned. I talk about this all the time when it comes to full moons. This is not the time for release or let go in the way that most people think. It's the time of reflection first and going, okay, this is not working. I'm going to refine my energies. I'm going to refine my goals, my strategies, my intentions, and so that I can move forward to close out this cycle with a more refined strategy and plan. Here's what is not serving me. Here's what's not working. And that's what we let go. But first, we must sit in reflection, gratitude, love, and all of that. It's not just writing it out on paper. I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. Rip it up and burn it, because what ends up happening, especially with this eclipse coming up, it's like, yes, we want to release what is not serving us. We want to release those old limiting beliefs. However, if we're not taking this time in solitude to really sit and reflect and sit in gratitude and actually learn the lessons from the shit that we're trying to get rid of, what ends up happening is we just repeat old cycles. And I say this all the time. It's almost like, and I'm hearing this really strongly for someone, like if you go through a breakup, and I mean a breakup in a friend group, a relationship, it doesn't matter what kind of breakup. If you're going through a breakup and you don't take that time alone in solitude, really deepening your connection with yourself. I love myself completely and unconditionally, really going through the wounds, the traumas of the past experiences, the past relationships, this one and the ones that came before it, platonic, romantic, business partnerships, anything that felt misaligned or dark or negative in any way, and even the positive ones, right? So we sit in reflection of all of that in time and solitude, alone time. If we're not doing that, what ends up happening is you carry the same baggage, the same shit, right, that we're trying to get rid of. We carry that into the next relationship. So when you think in terms of business, career, finance, health, relationships, anything at all, whatever, pillar or area of life that you apply this same message to, it works the same way. If we're not first sitting in solitude, sitting in reflection, really going through this process of integration, thoroughly taking a look at everything that we've been through, what you're going to do with this eclipse is it's going to shake things up for you. It's going to rattle you quite a bit. And in the tarot, we have what's called the tower moment, where I like to think of that as like a game of Jenga, where you just pull that final piece of that final block there and everything just comes like crumbling down. That's like the tower moment to me in the tarot. we can experience those kind of moments through an eclipse if we're not kind of mindful and thorough, right? And mindful of how we go through the process. Now, this isn't to say it still won't feel like that, but as humans, right, the ego or the human mind, we always want to kind of be in control. So if you'd like to be in control of the situation a little more, start with love, start with integrity, start with gratitude. I wasn't going to say integrity, that came out, so that must be for a very few of you, but someone's got to really get themselves back into integrity. This is not to say that you're doing things out of integrity. This is not to say that you're not someone with integrity, but you've kind of silenced your truth or dimmed your light a little bit in the sake of others. And I feel like that's very specific for maybe one or two, a couple of you I'm hearing, because that it's not completely relevant to this message collectively, but there's a few of you that needed to hear that. You've kind of like done things that fell out of alignment with you for the sake of others, like just to keep the peace, just to say it's like walking on eggshells kind of. Get back in integrity and in alignment with who you are and what your truth is and what you feel is right. Following that as you step into these new relationships, new careers, new pathways. Don't make any sudden jumps or shifts or move without first sitting in that time of reflection. So with this energy, it's a great time for release and letting go. Yes, however, taking that I cannot emphasize this enough, taking this moment in, and not moment, I'm hearing like weekend, week, month, what have you, in solitude. Now, I'm not saying go radio silent and don't communicate with people. What I'm saying is, you cannot just jump into the next thing after you release something without first processing the wound, the trauma. Thank you so much. I'm also hearing processing the joy. When you look back at something, it doesn't necessarily mean that it was a bad thing. I'm hearing for like one or two of you may be changing jobs or starting a new company or, even getting into a new relationship. If somebody recently moved, you're like moving into a new home. It doesn't mean that where you're coming from was bad, right? You might just be like leveling up or expanding. Also sitting in gratitude for that. Before you go into this next thing, what are the lessons that you've learned? What are the things that it's taught you? What are some of the achievements that you've had? Some of the awards that you won? I'm seeing like if you were in a job or a company, like your name, I'm seeing like your name was up on a wall or something like some kind of plaque or like award, or like employee of the month kind of thing, like your name and photo was like on a wall somewhere. Like you've really achieved a lot of great things. You have a lot of success. You've done a lot of incredible things in your career, in your relationships, and you're kind of expanding and growing. So with this solitude, it's like sit in reflection and gratitude for that as well, not just the bad. You're releasing and letting go of anything that's behind you now and moving into something new. But as you do that, again, taking that time in solitude to really, focusing, it just says here, like the greatest treasures are those that await silently during your quiet times. This is also like, if you're sitting in meditation or you're just like, when you're driving in the car by yourself or when you're in the shower and you just get like the absolute greatest idea, it's because you allowed that moment of solitude. You allowed the mind to like quiet and still a little bit because there was nothing else you could be doing except for showering, right? Or except for driving. So in those moments or like while you're cooking or drawing and you get these ideas. And for me, it was always like while I was in the shower. So now I keep my phone nearby and I'll just do like a voice memo. Excuse me. I'll do like a little voice memo so I don't forget or I'll like channel a message or a meditation or something and I'll just like speak it into my voice recorder so that I can go back and edit it then later. But it's something like that. Like you're going to start having these downloads and these big ideas and all of the things coming through while in solitude as well. So it's not necessarily like sitting there crying and healing all your, wounds. It doesn't have to necessarily be like deep shadow work, although I do hear for a lot of you it will be like that. But equally, you're going to have some really beautiful, profound moments in this moment of solitude as well, leading into deeper self-love. It's like a cliche thing we see floating around on a meme all the time. Like the most important relationship you have is the one that you have with yourself. That's this card here. And look at this goddess, like just blossoming up, blooming upward through the lotus. And if you think about a lotus has to grow through mud. If you really think about the the process of growth and renewal for a lotus, growing through murky water, mud, in like the darkest areas, and then up pops this gorgeous lotus flower with beautiful colors and detail and so much significance to the areas that it's in, right? So sorry about that if I shook that. So thinking about the lotus and this goddess then blooming up through the lotus up to the full moon, right? So you have gone through a lot. This is about solitude and reflection on the murky waters. Again, that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but you've gone through a lot even to get to your achievements and your accolades and all of the beautiful positive things that you have as well. So really taking a moment to look back in reflection on that. Sometimes I just sit and I look and I'm like, I cannot believe how far we've come. I cannot believe the things that we've been through, that we've gotten through. And sometimes I even look and I go, I don't even know how I did it, but I'm just so grateful that I did. And so just even something as simple as that, but really taking some time over today's Tuesday, March 11th. These messages are timeless. Trust me, if you see this after the fact, it's meant for you when you find it. However, we are coming up on a full moon this weekend, the lunar eclipse. We're starting off eclipse season. There's just a lot going on. So we're also kind of currently in this, well, not kind of, we are currently in the energy of Virgo. Virgo is very strategized, making a plan, like checking off a list, right? So I feel like a lot of you may be in this energy of strategizing for your future. That's great here. It's like as you're making out that list of everything you'd like to do moving forward, like really kind of thank you so much. Reflecting on some of those things that didn't work in the past. How can I improve this, expand on this, make this better? And again, thoroughness, integration, really taking the time to really, if you think about the mortar and pestle, right? Like really digging in, right? You're really breaking down those herbs and digging in, and then you create this fragrant, beautiful blend of herbs or, mostly herbs. Yeah. But if you think, even avocado, right? When you're making guacamole, because who doesn't love that, right? But when you're just really getting in there and you're grinding down all the different parts and pieces of the recipe, and as you grind it down, it creates something brand new with every piece of this, right? So this moment in solitude, it's like really defining all of that, dropping that into your bowl here and really digging in. And then of course, the fun little angel number that I'd like to share with you to close this out, you have 7777. So you're also going to probably see this in different ways. I'm hearing 77, 777, and then 4 sevens in a row. Anything, oh, thank you so much. I'm also hearing just number 7. So anything with the number 7, as you're seeing that throughout the next week or so, trust that it's just a little message and guidance from your guides, your angels, your higher self, letting you know that you're on the right track. This is all about self-belief, determination, failure in actions. Here's the thing. I'm not a firm believer in like failure. I don't really believe that we fail. I believe that there's a duality in life, right? Like a polarity of everything. So without darkness, there cannot be light. It's one of my favorite sayings because it's so true. That is what the human life or the human experience is all about. If you've never failed, how the heck can you even appreciate success? If you've never struggled, how can you experience or fully appreciate the experience of thriving and liberation? If you've never felt stuck or trapped, how do you even know what liberation feels like? So the same is true here. If you've never experienced failure, if you've never experienced heartbreak, if you've never experienced, a darker day or moment or season, then how can you fully enjoy or appreciate or experience its opposite, right? So that's what this message here is all about, is like keeping that strong sense of self-belief and stay determined in the face of your setbacks. Remind yourself that failure is merely a stepping stone to success. Embrace every opportunity with open arms and take bold actions to pursue your dreams. You're going to be coming up. I'm hearing this for quite a few of you. You're going to be coming up. Look, it's spring. It's the time of like renewal, fresh energy. Everything starts to feel like it's growing and thriving. You're going to be coming up on a lot of opportunities, right? And it can start to feel overwhelming. Can you take the mindset shift and the perspective of being so grateful that you have so many amazing options rather than having none, right? So many beautiful opportunities before you rather than having none. You can't get it wrong. That's what I'm hearing. Whatever decision that you make, you can't get it wrong. However, not all of them are going to light you up fully, right? So really taking the time to feel into that, because you get to be picky. And that goes in line here with like what I was saying about all the different ingredients to create this beautiful recipe here, this beautiful dish in the mortar and pestle. Really looking at every single detail of these opportunities that are coming forward for you, looking at every single detail of your next move, and you get to determine how that looks and feels. You get to determine what this experience is going to be like. And you can almost pull from each opportunity that's being presented to you. Here's what I love about this. Here's what I love about this. Here's what I love about this. And it's almost like, oh, I wish I could take this house and put it in this location. And I wish I could take this comp plan and put it in this company. And I wish I could take this benefits package and put it at that job offer, right? And so really like breaking down exactly what it is that you want. What do you want each and every ingredient to look and feel like, and create your own little experience here, and then have belief that that is possible for you. Because you can actually manifest your perfect outcome, your desired situation. Again, whether it's career, finance, jobs, I'm hearing marriage. Okay. If you want to write out your dream marriage partner, do that. If it's your health, if it's your home, whatever it is that you are trying to create here is the message. Like all of this is relevant to the same message in whatever direction you're taking this. So I hope that this was helpful. I'm so grateful to do this for you. You'll have to let me know in the comments here, or reach out to me and let me know how this landed. And if you are interested in booking a private reading to extend this a little bit more and get some more details, reach out and I would love to do that for you. You can email me at readingswithlauren@gmail.com.